coming off your first loss in conference. What's kind of the what do you hope is the takeaway from that as you get ready for your next conference opponent?
Well, yeah, obviously you hope you learn from it. I don't think we played particularly well. I think I think you got to give South Dakota a lot of credit. I think they are playing very well, and from that, I think we have to grow as a team in our preparation. We have to continue to play together when things get challenging, especially on the road. We've got to, instead of getting away from our principles and style of play, we've got to become even more dialed in with our principles and style of play. So hopefully we can learn from it and move forward and play well this weekend.
You're at the stretch in the conference schedule where you have just the one game this week. What are some of the pros of that? What are some of the cons of that?
Well, I think the pros are you have a chance to work on your team. I think you have a chance for us. A couple guys can maybe get a little healthy. Some of the negatives are the fact that you have a long week where practice can get long. You've got to make sure you prepare your practices accordingly to make sure your team is hopefully peaking and playing well at the end of the week, not at some day in between.
The last week and a half, we started to see some things that haven't been around IPFW basketball a lot in the past. You're seeing IPFW popping up in bracketology lists and whatnot. I know it's January. I know it's still early, but what's that meant to this program? How do you feel like the guys are handling some of that added attention now, given how well they've been playing?
I think we've handled it okay. I think it's great. Great recognition, obviously, for our program, obviously for our guys, but I think it's even bigger than that in our situation. I think it's good for our university. I think it's really good for our community to have our name, not just IPFW, but to have Fort Wayne mentioned, listed, talked about in a lot of these national publications and different things. I don't see any aspect of it that's a negative for our university and for our community as we try to continue to grow our basketball program, as a part of this overall university.
Do you feel like the guys have stayed focused? That really hasn't been much of a distraction?
I think we've been pretty good at worrying about what's important for most of the year. I think our guys we really haven't got caught up too much in what happened the other day, and nor have we really looked to what could happen down the road. I think our guys have stayed in the present pretty well. And we have to continue to do that as we go through the rest of league play, because no doubt there's going to be some ups and downs over the next 6 weeks, and we've got to make sure that we continue to improve and continue to stay the course.
IUPUI, what are they bringing to the table on Saturday?
I think they're talented. I think they can challenge you with literally how good they are on offense. I think Coach Howard does a really good job with putting them in situations where if you're not disciplined defensively, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we've got to make sure that we do a great job of not just preparing with what they do, but also preparing to guard who they are. They're a talented team. Had a tough start to league play. I think that both of us have played arguably one of the tougher schedules in league play. We were fortunate to get a couple of wins. Obviously, they haven't, but I don't think that their record is a great indicator of how good of a team they are.
I asked Pierre and Mo this, and I get the sense just from watching the team play that in this offense, everyone's having fun out there. Is that kind of been the takeaway that you've had?
Well, I think, first of all, playing unselfishly is fun. I think that when you play the game the right way, I think it's fun. Obviously, we've had some success, which beats the alternative. So I do think that we play a style that I think is effective for us, which is number one. But I also think that there is a part of our team, an unselfishness around us that is fun to be a part of. And we have to make sure that we continue to play that way. Because I do think that our strength is as a group. I don't know that we're talented enough to go out and play one-on-one and be successful. But I do think that we're talented enough that when we play together and play unselfishly, that good things can happen.
Coming into the season, because the offense last year obviously was built around Frank, for it to transition and all of a sudden it's so spread out like it has been this year, has that transition been easier or harder than you expected? Did you expect it to be a hard transition?
No, I think we've got good character guys, and I really think that the transition started down the stretch last year. I thought the last however many 3 or 4 weeks of the season, we were really hard to guard. I thought Frank was a big part of that. I thought he became extremely efficient, and we shared the ball. Our guys were more active offensively, and I thought the results showed that. And I think we've just kind of continued that with some different pieces. Obviously, I think our inside presence has gotten better, both with the addition of Steve, but I think Joe Reed is better today than he was last year. I think Pierre and Ike are playing better than they did last year. And I can go down the line. But I do think that the way we're playing offensively when we are playing the game the right way is kind of our vision. I think our team is built to play unselfishly, to be hard to guard when you are playing together.
Given how well you guys started, particularly in conference, after a loss on the road in South Dakota, were you worried at all about how the team would respond or bounce back from that?
Shoot, I'm terrified every day about things of that nature, making sure we got a great plan ahead, making sure our guys are focused on what's important, making sure we're focused on having them be focused on what's important and what's relevant. So I don't know that, I don't worry about our team going into some, deep funk, but you do worry about making sure that we bounce back, we handle it the right way, and we approach every day with the intent of getting better and making sure that we prepare ourselves to play our best on Saturday.
How much does Lewis help with that? Because after every win, he just seems so dialed into the mindset of it's one game, on to the next one.
Well, and I think that he is literally given the message that everybody else is thinking. I don't think we have a team. Sometimes I wish we had a team that got a little more fired up. But I don't think we have a team that gets too high or gets too low. I think we pretty much stay the course. I think our guys are really dialed into one another and want to make sure that that they do everything they can, not just so they're personally successful, but that they give their teammates a chance to have some success with what we're doing.